Hi, my name is Mark, and welcome to the Digital HeatFX system. That's what we're going to talk about today, and I just sent a print job over, and we're going to print kind of a whole set of things. One of them is going to be a t-shirt, and that's what we'll start with, and then we're going to print some other stuff too, so we'll kind of walk you along as that goes. But what we're looking at here is the Digital HeatFX system, and in a few moments you'll see a print coming out of here. And this is a white toner printing system. So what does that mean? That means it uses this special paper right here and a combination of CMY, cyan, magenta, yellow, and white to be able to create t-shirt transfers from a toner machine. That means there's no liquids, you don't have to worry about ink or anything like that. You're actually using a dry toner. And the toner will produce a transfer like this. And this transfer is basically a negative, right? At this point in time, it's reversed. So here is where we have our front view of what it's going to be. But this isn't ready to adhere to a shirt yet. The first thing we need to do is to put our polymer or our B sheet, or basically our adhesive, onto the back. My paper fell, here we go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use heat from this heat press. We're looking at a Hotronix Fusion heat press. This is a 16 by 20 inch heat press, and it's set at 285 degrees, and it's at a fairly low pressure. It's set to about a 3 right now. And this is what might be referred to as the marrying stage, or the taking the A and the B paper, or the paper that we ran through the printer and the adhesive paper, and adhering them together. What happens is the temperature and time and just a little bit of pressure will make the toner portion stick to the adhesive. And then we're going to peel them apart, and when we peel them apart, it's going to only adhere adhesive to where there was toner. And that's basically how this system works. Back here, while we're looking and waiting on this, we've got a Hotronix Cap Press, and we're going to go ahead and use this for a couple different things. And we also have some other attachments for this Hotronix Fusion heat press as well. One of the cool things about this heat press that I really like is that this bottom platen right here that we're using on the 16 by 20 can be removed. You can put a child-sized platen on there, like an 8 by 10. You could put a really small one, like a 4 inch by 4 inch, just for doing little spot areas or really particularly small items. There's a round one, there's a shoe one, there's a one for doing the bottom of caps, there's a sleeve and a leg. So there's a bunch of attachments that you just pop off, and I'm going to show you that as well on here. And when we're creating these digital transfers, as you're going to see and we'll discuss throughout this video, is that they will work on all different types of apparel. So you can do it on just regular cotton t-shirt like we're going to do today, a white cotton t-shirt. You could do on dark colors too, if you're familiar in the t-shirt business. If you're new to the business, you might not understand why that makes a difference. If you are familiar and you're in the business now, then you might realize that doing dark garments can sometimes be different than doing light garments on different systems. With this, it's not. It's the same process, which is fantastic. So we've got about a few seconds left here. And now that we pop this open, I'm going to remove I've got this finishing sheet. That's just to keep things protected. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to peel away my B paper or my polymer paper or my adhesive, just to keep it simple. Now, that part, actually, I could show you the negative kind of up close. Okay, so that's all the adhesive that was left over. And this page is now done. And what we're left over with is our transfer. Right here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to cut this transfer apart real fast. And we have a really cool cutter that you can buy for when you're doing a ton of these, and you'll see that in some other videos. We'll probably have a little highlight reel. Actually, you know what would be really cool is when they edit this video, if they put like a little box in the corner right here of me using the cutter on some other things that I was doing today. So I'm sure that the magic of editing can do that for us. So here we go. I'm going to cut this apart real quick just so I can end up with my t-shirt and a couple other surprises here. There we go. So what you're seeing right here, you might have noticed, I'm sure you did, these extra pieces on the side. That's actually a process. It's just something we simply call the safety border. It's actually, when you're doing that peel process like that, it helps to keep pressure even, make it easier so you can do it faster in production without damaging your image. It's not something that's necessary or demanded, but some folks ask that question when they see demonstrations. And it's a way for us to be able to do things faster, easier, quicker without having to think about it. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my t-shirt here. If you are curious, we're using 100% cotton. This is a district tee. This is from Sanmar. And if you're brand new to the business, you might not know what I mean by all of that, but when you get into doing t-shirts and you're doing them wholesale, you're not going to want to go to Walmart and Target and buy blank shirts there. It's not going to work out for you in the long run. You're not going to be able to get the quantities and the pricing that you want. You want to go through a wholesale company like Sanmar, and you want to buy a wholesale brand like this district brand that's designed for a t-shirt shop to use. So here we go. We've got our design here. We're going to put this onto the t-shirt, and this is only going to take 30 seconds to adhere. We again take we call our finishing sheet. This is going to protect the shirt and the heat press from nothing sticking to it that we don't want. And we're going to stick this to it for about 30 seconds. While I'm waiting for that, I'll go ahead and I'll just cut these up real quick. But I've got two things here, and you're going to see pretty soon what we're going to do with those. So we're almost at 30 seconds while I get this ready. And this is a digital timer, so as you heard, it will beep to let you know when the timer is up. And you could set it for all different types of things. Now, what we have here is this is now a hot transfer temperature. That's not any typical industry term. It just literally means it's hot. We don't want to peel it off when it's hot. We want to let it cool down. So in a production environment, I would take this over. I would move this over to my finished pile. I would put my next t-shirt on here. As I put my next t-shirt on here, we'll move on, and then eventually I would come over here and I would peel them all off. But we'll move this to the side for now. And we're going to let it cool off right here on this table. Once it gets to about room temperature, which it pretty much is now, all we do is actually just peel it off. I'm going to close this up, get this out of the way. And we're just going to peel this top portion off, just like this. And here we have kind of, as you can see, the negative where all the toner was. And you see none of the polymer or anything stuck to this. We'll put that aside. That's done. And the last step in the process is finishing the shirt. And that's really what this finishing sheet is for. This has a texture to it. Right now this is super smooth and it's got a bit of a shine to it from being on this very smooth, clear transfer paper. What we're going to do is we're going to take that shine out. We're going to mash it in a little bit more into the shirt so it blends in with the fiber. So the fiber of the shirt and the transfer kind of come together. It's going to soften it up. It's going to help for it to wash better, look better, and feel better. And actually sound better too. Those are all things that happen in t-shirts. It's the look, the feel, the wash, the sound, the texture. All of that gets improved by putting a finishing sheet on it. So that's the final step of this process to be able to go from kind of start to finish in one shirt. Now that we're done here, I'm going to move over and we're going to go ahead and take a look at that other press back there. So we'll peel this up. And here's our finished t-shirt. So what's really cool about this, if you know about digital t-shirt printing or not, I'm not sure, but you can do tons of colors, as you can see here, all in one print at one time. So this is much different than other types of t-shirt printing systems and t-shirt printing styles, where sometimes you have to do each color as an individual layer, which means doing a design like this would be many, many, many layers. So this is able to look fantastic and great on a light colored t-shirt like this, because we could do all of those colors in just one print. So I'm going to put this down right here, and now I'm going to show you this cap press. So what is this? It is very similar to the press that we saw over there. It's basically the same thing, but it's got a curved heat platen up here, and it has room for a cap. We loaded the cap in there. It's just spring held in, and we've got this transfer. So right tip, if you're going to be selling t-shirts, you should be selling caps too. They go hand in hand typically when you're talking about selling to a business or an event, especially if the event is outdoors, or you're doing something for people who, workers for example, they enjoy wearing a cap. If it's going to be for a sporting event, cap. Think of all the things that caps go with, you know, just being outdoors, being at work, being at a sporting event. So caps, t-shirts, they go hand in hand. If you're going to do t-shirts, you want to get into caps too. And you could do that with this as well. I've got some tape. Since it's curved, I do like to tape it down. So this is just a heat transfer tape. Essentially, it's a much stickier version than what this is on, in a nutshell. I center it up right in the middle of the cap, and I just tape it down. Now, normally I would use that sheet that you saw earlier, right, that finishing sheet, but I've got this silicone sheet right here, and I'll use this on caps. I find it a little bit easier. It's got some weight to it, holds in place, and again, all we're doing is we want to protect the top of the heat press from the transfer. We never want to accidentally get anything there. So the same process, 30 seconds, we're taking heat from the top platen, putting it onto the transfer. The adhesive that's on the back of that transfer that you saw when we peeled it up before is now, it's raising in temperature, it's activating, it's soaking into the cap and kind of connecting with the cap, and then when it cools down, it'll harden up again, grip up again, and it's going to grab onto that cap. And then we'll do the same thing at the end. We'll do that 30-second finish to give it a nice, smooth, clean look. This is an auto pop-up with the cap. So what I want to do here is take this off so it can cool off. This is almost ready to go. We're going to let that cool off. But I'm going to show you something really cool right now, right here. You saw this that we printed, right? So this says Coleman and Company. That's where I work. That's where we are. It's the building we're in, Coleman and Company. Printed with Digital HeatFX white toner printer. Wash cold, light colors, no fabric softener. www.colemanandcompany.com. This is what you should do. It's another tip. So you sell the shirts, and the shirts are all printed out and ready to go. You've sold the caps with the shirts because you've told them, hey, you know, if you're doing shirts, do the caps. I can do them both for you. If you do them together, I can give you a better deal. But also, when you're talking to, say, the coach or the business owner or the person who runs the charity or whatever it might be, that's not everyone who's wearing the shirt all the time. So there are tons of people out there that are going to be wearing your shirts, not even know that you made them. So you take this cap press and you put the shirt on it just like this. So you see the kind of tag is kind of hanging out up there. And you could put your label right there that you just printed. So each shirt that you printed a label with it. And I'll do the same thing with the tape on this one just because it's curved. So I'll tape it into place. And if you want to, you could buy shirts that you can rip the tag out if you wanted to. Or you can leave the tags that are in there because it's got sizing information and the manufacturer of the product. Whatever you want, that's up to you. You can put all the information on yours or you can leave it on there. So now this is ready to go. I'll do the same thing. I'll take that finishing sheet, pop it right on here. This is called a flexible finishing sheet. And we'll do this for 30 seconds as well. Now my cap should be all cooled down at this point in time. Remember, and when you're in production, you'll be doing all this together. You do the shirt, the cap, you'll figure out your rhythm. So this should all be set right here now. Oh. So our cap is basically finished. There's a little bit of a shine to it. We're going to finish it up on here. So now that my tag is done, I'll pop that off, put it aside, take my cap, pop it back on, lock it in place, and again I'll take my finishing sheet from the back because of the brim, and I'll finish it to get it nice and smooth. Meanwhile, my shirt should be cooling off. My tag should be cooling off. I could just let this sit. Again, you're looking for room temperature. You don't want to peel this while it's hot. So, and then when we're done with this, I'm going to show you the last thing that you're going to want to do, because you've got the Hotronix Fusion Heat Press, you've got the Cap Press. What you can actually do with this is you can sell something else as an upgrade, as an addition to each sale that you make. There we go. So here we go. Here's our finished cap. So we've got, same thing, tons of colors. You've got a great finish to it. It looks really good. It looks like it's basically part of the fibers of the cap. And you can set this up, nice display with your finished t-shirt. So we'll get this ready over here. So here's our finished cap. Our t-shirt, we're going to take the label off now. Not take the label off, but I think you know what I mean. Grab that tape and do the same thing. Just lift that off. And then I'll finish this real quick as well. Same thing. Pop it up here. Finishing sheet. And give that. So here we go. I've got, here's the negative of that you can see. You can even do really small lettering like that, which if you're in the business, you also might realize that sometimes doing small lettering is a problem too. That's really cool about a digital system like that. Like this is you don't have to worry about that. Let me grab something else for you over here. And we're going to talk about the next thing that we're going to do, which is one of my favorite additions. So you sold a shirt, you sold a cap, but you're trying to make money, you're trying to impress your customer. You really want your customer to leave really happy, having felt that they got a really great customized kit of everything they need for their event, for their business, for their job, for their sporting team, whatever it might be. So here we go. We've got our tag. Let me lift this up for you so you can see. So now everyone who gets the shirt knows that it came from Coleman & Company or whatever your business name is. They can see the wash instructions to make sure that they're washing it right, that when they pull this thing out of the wash and wear it again, it looks fantastic. And they can see your website, so they can go to your website or your phone number or whatever else you want to put in here. We have customers that put funny jokes in there to get people to laugh. We have people that put phone numbers. People put, you could put a coupon code in there if you want to. Visit here and put a coupon code, and everyone who gets this shirt gets to see that. So now I'll go ahead and put this aside. Here's my shirt. Here's my cap. And the next thing, a koozie. So what you can do is, when you sell them the shirt and the cap, you could say for $2 more or $3 more, whatever it would be, we can do a koozie for everybody too. So this way, while they're outside, you're outside, you're at the ball game for youth sports team or maybe a cheer squad or whatever it might be, you're out there and you've got your cool drink and you're representing your team here and here and here. Or if it's for a business, this is a great little promo gift you can give them. Let me show you a really cool way that you can do it with the Hotronix Fusion. Okay. So this bottom platen comes off, and it's fairly warm. We've been using it, so I just have a couple t-shirts for pads, heat pads here. I'm going to lean this aside. Okay. And now this comes off. I can add all of these attachments that we have here. So here we go, it's my can cooler attachment. There we go, pops on like that and locks into place. So now we're ready to slide can coolers on. And they just go like this. So you slide on, and you could do 8 at a time with this gadget here. It's very cool. And these are really inexpensive to buy too. These can coolers, you don't even have to buy a really large quantity to get them for 50 cents or less. Wholesale, naturally. So here we go. We've got all this set. And now I've got, let me see, here we go. Here's a bunch of logos right here. Now I've got 6 here, and I've got a couple Coleman & Company logos. So maybe these 2 are a couple freebies that I'm going to give to the company that I'm selling to, and they've got my name on it, right? That's another great way to promo, is if you didn't sell them the can coolers, you know, maybe you didn't sell it to them, they weren't sure about it yet, go ahead and hand them a couple with their logo on it or with your logo on it and say, hey, here for free, by the way, if you want to order these, I know you said if you order them with the shirt, they were $3 a piece. If you want to order them separately, they're $4. Whatever you want to do. I mean, it's your business. So we're going to go ahead and slide this on just like this, just like we did with the t-shirt. And this is much thinner than our t-shirt platen. The t-shirt platen had the big blue foam, if you recall. So I'm going to tighten this up. I'm going to slide this in. We'll see if that's enough. A little bit more. Just a bit more. There we go. So again, I want that kind of medium pressure on there. And just like the shirts, 30 seconds is all we need on this, just like the t-shirt. So we can attach to a cap in 30 seconds, the shirt in 30 seconds, the can cooler in 30 seconds. The process is all going to be the same. And the same thing, when we peel it off in the end, we want to make sure that it's cooled down. So here we are, we're at about 30 seconds. So if you come in close, you'll actually get to see kind of up close here what this attachment looks like. And we've got how we created 8 at once. Now these are still going to be a little bit warm, so I'm going to want them to cool down. So there's a couple cool things that we have. We have some cooling pads that you can put on here. It's basically just like a little ice pack. So you can drop ice packs on these things and cool them down one at a time if you wanted to. That's a cool thing. You could do a tile, you know, is one thing you could do to kind of cool them down, whatever it might be. Or you just let them air cool down like they are now. So I'm kind of feeling them. Doesn't really take that long. So it's mostly cooled down now. I think we should be fine to peel them up. And we'll peel these up. So just like that, we're creating custom koozies, custom caps, custom t-shirts, all together. You've got a business here where you can sell all types of accessories and upgrades, and this isn't even scratching the surface of everything that you can do with the Digital HeatFX system. I'm going to finish these just like I did everything else. But you can put these on cotton t-shirts, polyester t-shirts, darks and lights, as I mentioned before. You could do it on canvas and on wood. You could take a photograph of somebody and put it on canvas. You can put something on a book, on a piece of wood, as I mentioned. The caps, coasters, there's tons of things. As long as you can get that adhesive to adhere to it, you can pretty much stick to it. And as far as garments, it does tons and tons of garments. And it's just a matter of just trying it out and seeing if you can get it to fit. But most things, it works really well on. So here we go, we finish. And we slide these off. All right. So here's our finished product here. We've got a bunch of canned koozies for our customer. We've got a couple freebies that we put our logo on that we're going to go ahead and give maybe to the person in charge, give it to the coach as just a couple extra freebies. We've got our cap and our shirt right there. So here's just a little glimpse of everything that you could do with the Digital HeatFX system. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this full demo of kind of start to finish on a bunch of different things. And please visit DigitalHeatFX.com. You'll see our phone numbers around wherever you're watching this, so give us a call. And please contact us. Let us know how we can help you, how we can answer your questions about the system, the cost, what it comes with, what type of heat press you need. Do you need more than one heat press? What type of cap press options are there? There's a ton of options, and we've got experts that are here to help you out. We're here to help you out in live chat, email, phone, whatever it might be, whatever is easiest for you. We're here to help you either start or grow your custom t-shirt business with the Digital HeatFX system. Again, my name is Mark, and thank you very much for watching.